Imagine living a simple, peaceful life, and then one phone call changes everything. A hidden truth, a father you never knew, $1 billion fortune, and a love that might be a lie. This is the story of how my quiet life turned into something I never expected. My name is Jennifer. I am 24 years old, and this is my story. I spent my entire life in a small, quiet village, high in the Green Mountains. It was the kind of place where nothing ever rushed. The air was always fresh and cool, and every morning felt calm and gentle. Life there moved slowly, but I never complained. In fact, I loved it. Every day felt the same but in a good way. There was peace in routine. There was comfort in knowing what tomorrow would bring. I worked in a small flower shop in the center of the village. It wasn't a big shop, but to me, it felt like the most beautiful place in the world. Flowers were not just my job, they were my happiness. I loved the deep red roses that looked like love itself. I loved the soft white lilies that felt pure and calm. And I loved the bright yellow sunflowers that always looked like they were smiling at the sun. Every morning at exactly 8 a.m., I opened the shop. I would clean the space, fill the vases with fresh water, and carefully arrange each flower. I treated them like they were alive, like they had feelings. People from the village would come in, not just to buy flowers, but to talk. They would share stories, laugh, and sometimes just sit quietly. Everyone knew everyone. Life was simple, but it was warm. I lived in a tiny house not far from the shop. It had a small kitchen, a wooden table, and a soft bed by the window. It wasn't fancy, but it was enough. In the evenings, I would sit with my friends. We drank tea, talked about the weather, and shared small stories about our day. I wasn't rich, but I was happy. And I truly believed I understood my life completely. But I was wrong. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon when everything changed. The sky was gray, and soft rain touched the windows of my shop. No customers came that day. The streets were empty. I was standing near the window, cleaning the glass slowly, watching the rain fall. Then suddenly, my phone rang. I stopped. I didn't recognize the number. For a moment, I thought about ignoring it, but something inside me said, "Answer it." "Hello," I said softly. "Is this Maya Miller?" a man's voice asked. His voice was serious, cold, professional. "Yes," I replied, confused. "I am a lawyer from Grand City," he said. "I have important news about your father, Mr. Arthur Kingston." My heart almost stopped. My father? That word felt strange. Unreal. My father? I asked slowly. I don't have a father. My mother, Sarah, had never spoken about him. Not once. Whenever I asked, she would simply say, "He is gone." She died 3 years ago, and with her, all her secrets disappeared. "You do have a father," the lawyer said firmly. "He is the richest man in the city. He is very old, and very sick. He wants to see you immediately." I couldn't breathe. The richest man in the city? That couldn't be true. "I will send you a train ticket," the lawyer continued. "You must come as soon as possible." The call ended. And I just sat there. On the floor. In silence. My hands were shaking. My mind was spinning. A father, a rich man, a big city. It felt like a story from a book. Or maybe a dream. Or maybe, a nightmare. But one thing was clear. I needed answers. The next morning, I packed a small bag and left my village. As the train moved forward, I looked out the window. The mountains slowly disappeared behind me. And with them, my simple life. When I arrived in Grand City, everything felt different. The noise. The lights. The people. There were tall buildings everywhere. Cars moved fast. People walked quickly, like they were always late. I felt small. Lost. A black car was waiting for me at the station. The driver didn't speak. He just opened the door, and I sat inside quietly. After a long drive, we stopped in front of a huge mansion. It was made of white stone, with golden. Beautiful, but cold. Inside, everything was perfect. Too perfect. Clean. Quiet. Expensive. But there was no warmth. That's when I met her. Helena. My father's wife. She wore a long black dress and a diamond necklace that sparkled under the light. Her face was beautiful, but her eyes were cold. Very cold. So, she said slowly, looking me up and down, "You are the girl from the mountains." Her voice was sharp. "You are not welcome here," she continued. "And don't think you will take our money." Her words cut deep. But I stayed quiet. Because I wasn't there for money. I was there for the truth. That evening, I finally met him. Arthur Kingston. My father. He was sitting in a wheelchair. His body looked weak, fragile, like time had taken everything from him. But when he looked at me, he smiled. A soft, gentle smile. "Maya," he whispered. "You have your mother's eyes." In that moment, something inside me changed. For the first time in my life, I felt like I belonged somewhere. At dinner, I met someone else. Leo. He was introduced as a family friend. He was tall, confident, and had kind eyes. Unlike Helena, his face was warm. He spoke to me gently. He asked about my village, my life, my flowers. And when I talked, he listened. Really listened. He made me laugh. And for the first time since arriving in that cold house, I felt safe. Over the next few days, Leo and I spent a lot of time together. We walked through the garden. We talked for hours. We shared stories. He told me he liked my simple heart. That I was different from people in the city. And slowly, I began to trust him. Maybe I even began to like him. For a moment, I thought maybe this new life wasn't so bad. But I was wrong. Again. One morning, Helena called me into her office. She placed a paper on the desk. "Sign this," she said. I looked at it. It said I was not part of the Kingston family. "If you sign it," she continued, "I will give you $100,000. You can go back to your village and never come back." I looked at her. "I don't want your money," I said quietly. I just want my father. Her face changed. She became angry. Sign it, she shouted. I ran out of the room. My heart was beating fast. I needed someone. I needed Leo. I searched for him everywhere. Then I heard voices from the library. I stopped. The door was slightly open. And then I heard his voice. She trusts me now, Leo said. My body froze. I'm watching her, he continued. She won't take the fortune. Just give me the money you promised. My heart shattered. In 1 second. Everything broke. Leo, the person I trusted, was lying. Everything was fake. Everything. I couldn't stay there anymore. I packed my bag. And I left. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't look back. I cried all the way home. Back to my village. Back to my flowers. Back to my quiet life. I tried to forget everything. The city. The mansion. Leo. Especially Leo. But life wasn't finished with me yet. 2 weeks later. Leo came to my village. Every single day, he stood outside my flower shop. Maya, please, he said. Listen to me. I ignored him. But he didn't leave. One chance, he begged. At first, it was a job, but then I fell in love with you. I returned the money. I don't want it. I only want you. But my heart was too broken. I couldn't believe him. Then one day, the lawyer called again. My father had died. I had to return for the will. When I went back to the mansion, Helena looked confident. She believed everything belonged to her. But when the lawyer read the will, everything changed. To my wife Helena, I leave the house, he said. She smiled. But to my daughter Maya, I leave my companies, and all my fortune. She is the only person I trust. Silence. Then anger. Helena screamed. But it didn't matter. The decision was final. In one moment, I became incredibly rich. But something inside me had already changed. Money didn't feel important. Not anymore. I gave Helena enough money to live a comfortable life. And the rest, I used to help others. I helped poor children. I built gardens in cities. Places where people could find peace, just like I did in my village. I moved to a new town. And I opened a big flower shop. Bigger than my old one. But still full of love. And Leo. He stayed. He worked hard every day. He never gave up. Slowly. Very slowly. My heart began to heal. One day, he came to me with a white lily. My favorite, I said softly. He smiled. Will you marry me? He asked. I don't want your money. I just want your heart. I looked into his eyes. This time, I saw truth. Real truth. And finally, I smiled. Yes. In the end, I had everything money could buy. But I chose something more important. I chose peace. I chose love. Because sometimes the richest life is the simplest one. If you believe love is more valuable than money, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Silver Narratives for more powerful and emotional stories.